The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program host and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by TCN TV Network Incorporated. Due to the social nature of this broadcasting channel, videos may contain content copyrighted by another entity or person. The TCN TV Network claims no rights to the said content. TCN TV Network cannot be held accountable for the copyrighted content. TCN TV Network is a messenger and sharer of information and strives to verify but cannot warrant the accuracy of copyrights or completeness of the information on this program.
What's going to be happening the next couple of days now? I don't know how involved I'll be getting in with them, but how did that come to be?
Yeah. So.
See that? See? But no, really though,
that to me is confounding and confusing in that.
Shows that we now have on our roster is growing, and we have a lot of new shows here. I'm only going to offer solutions on the show. I'm not going to do what everyone else is doing right now and talking about how many people got shot, when it happened, how it happened. We know it's happening. Okay, we're past that now. We don't need to keep pushing that narrative. Welcome everybody. Wow, we started with new camera angle. We've never started over here. Okay.
It's quite cool though.
Okay.
It's nice.
We started with new angle. Dave didn't even prep me. Welcome everybody to In the Now with Simone, Jennifer Smith. But I realized we're gonna have to change that. Mm-hmm. It's no longer gonna be In the Now with Simone, Jennifer Smith because it's not just me anymore. It's gonna now become In the Now with Chris and Sim.
Yeah.
Keeping it real simple. We're gonna have to get on top of that. So what is this show morphed into? Right now, what I'm liking about this is that we have two queens, both living in the African diaspora. So not from, well, she's more so from Africa than I am. But, and she's a millennial. I'm a Generation X, and I confirmed that this morning. Anyone before 1982, 83 is a Generation X. That's me. I was born in the 70s. And
really?
Yeah.
Like 79 or like 73?
I'm not talking to you about this. So I want, because you're trying to go there with me today and I'm not in there. So today we're actually going to be looking at, I'm not taking her on, some new shows and films. And actually Christina had brought this up. We were supposed to talk about this last week, but we ran out of time. So we're doing it this week.
Why did that happen? Like, how did we run out of time? Is it
because you were talking. You were talking.
Oh yeah, we were talking about like 3D printing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you went in. So she kind of lost focus. So today,
y'all liked it. Y'all all watched the video.
Yeah, it was all right. Honestly, like we're starting to like find each other. We're trying to find a groove with each other. So I think that's what we're learning. Okay. How to like, you're millennials. You're a little bit, different than us generation.
But it's fine. But yeah, last week one of the points we wanted to talk about was one of my favorite TV shows. And you know what I think is really weird? Like I think I have an affinity for gangster.
We're gonna talk about that because so do I.
Because like my favorite show in like in the whole world is American Gangster.
Yeah, that was a really, really, yeah.
It was a heavy movie, but like my favorite movie. Like I really liked it.
So interestingly enough, we're gonna talk about that in our next segment.
Okay.
A film that's kind of similar.
Yeah, I think you said in the show notes it was like a prequel to that.
Yes.
So I'm super excited.
So I haven't seen it yet, but we'll get there. But before we do, I want to take a quick look at, I think Dave has a video for us, a quick look at how we have been portrayed in films from, I'm going to say back in the early 60s, even before that, to now.
It was during the silent era when black characters first appeared in cinema. in 1915's Birth of a Nation. But blacks were played by white actors in blackface, and the characters were degrading stereotypes. In response to Birth of a Nation, a group of independent black filmmakers and talent sprung up during the silent era to give black audiences a more realistic portrayal of themselves. Stage actor Burt Williams became one of the first black film stars. Another black talent during this time was Paul Robeson, who got his start in New York theater and then progressively ended up in films such as Body and Soul. It was during the talkies period when mainstream Hollywood began to produce films starring African Americans. Films such as Hearts in Dixie, Hallelujah, and Green Pastures. But were these films accurate portrayals of men and women of color?
That was really good, Dave. You should be a producer, Brethren. It's not too bad.
See, there's a reason. I don't watch old shows featuring black people.
Why
for a
not?
specific reason. It's triggering.
Very.
I find it's like, why I don't watch slave shows? Like, why would I do that? That really hurts my spirit.
So, you know what? I hear you. Okay, I hear you. I went to the Mandela, actually, just a little insert. I went to the Mandela opening last night, and I was triggered the entire time. It's very difficult to watch that. So I get what you're saying about that. Another thing that's triggering is the fact that there's a certain way that we are casted in a lot of films, and I mean from back then. And I was kind of curious, because when you said you wanted to talk about this, I'm like, how can we like throw a twist on that and get a millennial's point of view? Because you see things a little bit differently than we do, even though we both seem to be triggered by some of these films. So I actually found an article by a young lady named Nadra Kareem Niddle, and she wrote an article about 5 common African-American stereotypes found in TV and film. So I'm gonna go through them quickly. I have some pictures accompanying them so you guys can kind of see some of these roles. And Christina, you haven't seen this yet, so the very first one is the Magical Negro. And this character has been long played in a lot of TVs and film roles. The characters tend to be African American, men with special powers who make appearances solely to help the white characters get through. Can you think of a movie where that happened before I throw it up? You may not even know these movies. They're old school. So the Magical Negro.
Honestly, Black Lightning comes to mind.
No. But yes, no, you know what, you're right. And I don't want you to touch that yet though. Hold that thought, because you're right, but for different reasons, okay? Is there another older one you can think of?
Older movie for a black person. Oh, yes. Save the Last Dance.
Oh, Jesus. You see, millennials. The Green Mile. Can we put up the Green Mile, please?
I don't know what that is. What's that? Like,
this is why, you've never seen the Green Mile? You need to go back. You see, this is why we're doing this today. So I can teach you some things, girls. So this is about, so this gentleman is in jail and he's that magical Negro. He has these magical powers and helps people see the light.
Okay.
Also, there's a Legend of Bagger Vance. Have you heard of this with Wilson? Where have you been? You've never seen the Legend of...
Look at the color grading of that. Like, why would I watch that? Like,
I'm going. Moving on. So that's one of the stereotypes is the magical Negro. The next is
Hitch. Hitch
all
is a
right.
good, no, not Hitch.
Hitch was one. Yeah.
Hitch was one. The other one with Thingy. He was a superhero. Will Smith was a superhero in this one.
Hancock.
That's the one. Yes. I think that would be one.
Would that
too.
be a good example, Dave? Yeah, right?
I feel so, because he has to, like, his superpower is, like, apparently he's a god, and his other half is it Charlie's Theron, I think?
Charlize Theron, yes.
Yeah, and he has to, like, kind of figure out his magical power to, like, save her and her family.
Yeah, so that's more modern. Yes, those are more modern examples. Okay, she caught in, finally.
I caught the vision.
The next one, we're going to try to get them all in the next 2 minutes. So, the Black Best Friend.
Okay, that would be Save the Last Dance.
Yep.
Also, what's her? I forget her name. Not Regina Hall. Is it Regina Hall? No, it's not Regina Hall. In Scary Movie.
Yes, but not Regina Hall.
But the girl from Scary Movie. Perfect. Yeah, I can't remember her name. The ones I had with Devils Wears Prada. So you don't remember? You've never watched Devil? Tell me you've watched.
I've watched.
Okay, so that girl there.
Okay. Yeah,
okay, so Tracy Thomas. She plays co-star to Anne Hathaway as her best friend. She's one who's like, get it together, girl. Okay. And then the Ghost Whisperer. Aisha Tyler and Jennifer Love Hewitt. Okay. Well, just saying. All right, next. Keep moving.
Very 90s, very 90s. Look at the flare button.
All right, your favorite role, the thug. So,
I wouldn't call it my favorite role, but
whatever.
it's definitely a role that is seen a lot.
Yes, a disproportionate amount.
I agree.
Of
That,
African
I
American
agree.
males are playing the thug.
I
But one
agree.
thing people don't take into consideration sometimes is the circumstances that have caused these men to be thugs.
Exactly.
Certain shows I think of. Have you heard of The Wire? You've heard of The
That's like
Wire.
one of my favorite shows.
Thank you. Thank God.
One of my
Jeez.
favorite shows.
Finally,
Yes.
Mr. Idris. Yes.
R.I.P.
And Training Day.
I didn't finish that.
What?
I didn't finish it. Like I got I think halfway through. I haven't finished it yet. I'm gonna watch it. It's a long weekend. I could probably watch it.
Come
this weekend.
on. These are classics.
It's a
Training Day.
classic. It is a classic. I believe you. I know that, but I
Okay.
haven't finished watching it.
Biggest thug in the world, Denzel Washington. Big up yourself. Okay,
Yes.
I don't have time left, but I'm still gonna get to these last. Actually, you know what? We will take a break. We have two more stereotypes. Actually, two more to get through. But we've done two more. I've done two or three.
I think we did 4. Haven't we done
No,
4?
we didn't. We did the thug,
Yeah.
the magical Negro, and the
Yeah.
black best friend.
Okay.
So that's 3. So we have 2 more to go. So we're gonna do those 2, and then we're gonna jump right into our very first film, The Godfather of Harlem, when we get back. See you guys soon.
With so many newspapers within the community, it's sometimes hard to tell what separates us from the rest. Most of the time, they all brag about the same thing. You know, the large circulations, tons of online views, and it can go on and on. But what really separates the Toronto Caribbean newspaper apart from everybody else? Well, it's simple. Our service. No, seriously. Hi, I'm Grant Browning, founder and CEO of the Toronto Caribbean newspaper. I have over 20 years of branding and marketing experience, and I've worked with countless companies and corporations to do one thing, and that is to raise their profits with their brand. With over 40 years of combined experience in branding and marketing, our amazing staff is fully prepared to sit down and figure out exactly what you need to stand out from your competitors.
The reason why you don't see that anymore is because
The art is too powerful, bring too much people.
So what are you waiting for? Give us a call today. We'll be happy to help.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us,
What's up?
you're here with Chris and Sim.
Yes, indeed.
Sim and Chris, the Millennial Generation X, talking all about movies today. Shows.
Today.
Movies this
TVs,
girl has not
shows.
watched. Very disappointing.
We haven't covered theater.
We'll get there. That's another show, another day. Today we're talking shows.
I haven't actually participated in theater a lot. Like what
You
happened?
do?
I haven't. Because see what happens is when I go to the theater, I always end up falling asleep because it's so comfortable. It's dark, it's warm, and then I fall asleep.
I'm going to rethink this show idea because really, this is what you're going to come out here and tell people? How are we supposed
This
to?
is my truth.
Okay.
All right, anyway.
So you go to theater and just fall asleep. Have you gotten
Yeah.
through any of them? No. Okay.
No.
Okay. So if you're just joining us, today we're talking about new fall shows that are coming out starring. But we're also taking a look at how we've been stereotyped in the past and how we're going to actually look and see if that still carries on to how we're stereotyped now in film. So we got through the Magical Negro, the Black Best Friend, the Thug, and now my favorite, the Brash Woman. So when you think Brash Woman, what's a show that comes to your mind right away?
Obviously, Housewives of Atlanta.
Throw that bitch up.
Obviously.
Housewives of Atlanta. Loud and
Who said
ignorant.
that?
Like,
Who said that? Honestly, first one that came to my mind.
See?
Portia, I love you, girl, but honestly,
You're doing the most with the least.
I would say also, what's her name? Tasha from Power.
Oh, she is, the epitome
Unfortunately.
of Get it together.
Unfortunately.
Her and Keisha. Keisha too. Keisha's just as ratchet. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Love your roles, but these are typical. Very
It's
typical.
unfortunate.
Also, Basketball Wives.
I never watched that show.
I refuse to watch it. I refuse. But I know it's probably just like Housewives of Atlanta.
I believe
So
that.
that's another role we've taken on. This ghetto, hoish role, right? Always the subservient. We're just collecting money at home while our men are out doing stuff. We might be having a little bit of a hustle, but we're just collecting money and looking slutty. That's what it's supposed to be about. Finally, the last one is the domestic. So everyone remembers the Mammy role. You've seen Mammy.
No.
Show her Mammy, please.
Why would I watch that again?
But this is our reality. This is how it was. This is what they.
I know,
they've been
but
putting
why
out.
would I ingest that willingly? Like, why would I go home, open Netflix, or it probably won't be Netflix, open up YouTube, pay $3 to go watch this show, and then be triggered at the end of it, or be crying, or be angry, and then when you go outside, you want to go hit people. Why? I hear, like, I probably read a synopsis on IMDb, but I don't think I'll actually go back and watch any of these shows
So the
or
help?
movies.
No.
I didn't watch it. Like, I saw that, and I'm like, why would I do that? Or like, was it The Butler or whatever?
Driving Miss Daisy.
I've heard of that. I've heard of it.
Yes,
I'm
this is a watch her face.
I'm not gonna watch it.
And watch his face, looking happy to be serving. Look at him, happy as hell. So those are our 5. There's probably more. I could probably throw in some more, but let's start looking at some of these films now. So you said that you like thug films,
Yeah.
even though you haven't gotten through Training Day.
Yeah.
Godfather of Harlem.
I don't know much about it, to be fair.
So I'll tell you guys a little bit about it. So Godfather of Harlem is an American crime drama television series, which is a prequel to the 2007, your favorite film, American Gangster, that premiered on September 29th, 2019.
Oh, so it's live right now. Like, I can
So
go
it's
watch
on.
it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's on now. So it was written by Chris Brandcanto and Paul Eckstein, and it stars, as you see, Mr. Forrest Whitaker, and it's about Mr. Bumpy Johnson. So this is from the 1960s. Something
Okay.
I learned about today that I found interesting is that he actually. So before I say that, so it's actually the true story of the crime boss, Bumpy Johnson, who in the early 1960s returned after 10 years being in prison and saw that his community was just a mash up.
Okay.
So he joined along with no other than Malcolm X. I didn't know this. That he actually, Dave, did you know that?
Yeah, they were brethren.
They were brethren. So when he was trying to get things back together in the hood, he, brought
When you say
Malcolm
get
X.
things back together, like, what do you mean?
So the Italian mob had taken over the scene because he was in jail. So things changed. The demographics, how things looked in society at that time in our community had changed. So when he came back, I'm sure, mind you, he was no help either because he was supplying drugs and all that stuff.
Right. So how did he help?
Well, when he came back, that's what this is about. This is what you have to come back and watch. This is what you need to see, is what he came back to do. That's why they call it the Godfather of Harlem. There's something that he did, even though he had probably done a lot of damage as well.
Right.
There's some other stuff that he did to help bring things back up to speed.
Okay. I
So-
can get behind that.
What are some of the roles you think you will see in this one? Out of the 5 that we went through, and then I want to give you
Obviously, the thug role is going to be played in there.
number 1.
I
Number
definitely
1.
feel that maybe like a wife or an auntie or a nephew or a niece would be the brash woman. I definitely feel that way.
That there's going to be a Brash Woman in there? How about a domestic?
I don't know. Maybe on the other side, like maybe he has like a rival or an arch nemesis, and maybe they're the domestic.
Okay.
Kind of like, or not the Magical Negro, the other one.
There's no Magical Negro in this.
Yeah.
No. There's no need for
Or
that
the
one in
black
this one.
back. I don't know the black person, but I definitely feel like the domestic could be there.
Yeah, I think those 3 might be in it. I haven't seen it yet, so you guys can definitely comment on this if you guys have seen it and tell us what you have seen in there. And now the question is, how does this hurt us, or how does this help us?
All right, so like here's my thing, because I know that a lot of people had some comments about Top Boy again, saying,
Don't go there yet.
where are we? Like, I'm following the script.
Yes, but we're not at Top Boy. Top Boy's last segment.
So we're on Black Lightning?
We're not on Black Lightning.
What are we on?
I'm asking you about Bumpy Johnson, about the things of Harlem. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this? This girl.
Sorry,
Where are
people.
you?
I'm sick. I'm not sick. I'm
She
not,
is
I'm
sick,
I'm
and
not
she's here to-
saying I'm sick. I'm not going to confess that. I'm well. I'm just in long weekend mode.
She's sick. That's what you are.
Word to power. I'm not gonna confess that. Okay, Bumpy Johnson. Where do I think the movie will take us?
Yeah. How do you?
Or is
think
it
it's
a
gonna-
TV show?
Yeah, it's a TV show. It's a series.
I think they'll go back and forth. Like, I think they'll paint him as an anti-hero.
I like that.
I think they'll paint him as an anti-hero because, like, the truth of the matter is he sold drugs to our community.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we have this, like, yes, you came back to help, but you did hurt for a long period of time, and you profited off of that hurt.
Yeah, which still happens.
Exactly, right? And that's a reality that we all experience. But I do think that, I mean, obviously people have the opportunity to grow and learn from their mistakes. And we as people to try and be forgiving of people. So I definitely feel we'll see both sides of the coin. I'd love to see the dynamic between him and Malcolm X and kind of see.
That's what I was going to say. That's
What's that about?
I want to see. I want to see what was going on with them. Like, what was happening between Bumpy Johnson and Malcolm, and how does that play out on film? And I heard that it caused some problem for Malcolm during his time too. So I don't know. That'll be interesting. And I know you want to jump, so we're gonna go there. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna take our break to their sick self, and we're gonna come back and talk about Black Lightning, which she doesn't like.
I don't like it,
but I like Black Lightning, and we're gonna see actually the difference between this series, The Godfather of Harlem, and Black Lightning, and how almost in a way, out of all of them, Black Lightning probably does the least damage when it comes to our community.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about why. We'll see you soon on In the Now.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
My name is Trish Curling, and I am an online coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher, and your new host of Shaping Life, which is all about understanding that we have the ability and the control to take charge of our health and wellness. But we can't do it alone, and I can't wait to sit down with the best in the industry. Please tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. live here on the TCN Network.
Welcome back. She just finished cursing. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back.
In the I have to figure out
I need you not to come here when you're sick. Yes, I'm telling you.
I'm not sick.
You're sick, and you're spreading your germs. And if I feel even a scratch in my throat this weekend, I swear to God, I'm gonna curse you.
People, I'm not sick.
Welcome back, everybody. If you were just joining us, we are talking about some fall season shows that have come out, portraying or showing us, us in the front, featured. But we're also looking at whether these shows are hurting us or if they're helping us, especially with some of the goals that we are trying to do now, moving forward as a community. So, Black Lightning, your least favorite. First of all, tell me why it's your least favorite before I go into it.
I think the storyline is weird. I don't get the storyline. You know what it is for me, really? His suit is so dumb. The suit is so unrealistic. Why is it plastic bubbles? That is really...
So here's my big question. Why is it that all he has to do is put on a mask and no one recognizes him? It's not even a full mask. It's not like Black Panther has a full mask so you can't see his face. It's one of them little masks.
I don't know.
And all of a sudden it's like no one knows.
But his voice changes, to be fair, when he puts it on too.
So? It's the same person.
You see what I mean? The costume really threw me off.
It is dumb. The costume
really
is dumb. It's like me putting on a square mask and being like, I'm a completely different person. You can't tell it's me. You can still tell it's the principal.
Look at that suit. It's horrendous.
So you have a problem with the costume.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the storyline a little bit.
What storyline?
Okay. So Black Lightning is an American superhero television drama series developed by Salim Akil that premiered on the CW on January 16, 2018. So it's based on the character of the same name.
Netflix though?
It's on Netflix now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I'm I didn't watch it on CW.
I don't have CW either. I get everything on Netflix. It's a Netflix thing.
Okay.
So it's based on the character of the same name, created by Tony Isabella and Trevor Von Eaton, featured in publications of DC Comics. So that's the original.
That makes
I actually
sense.
like what he's saying here because that's very much what it's about in this show. So the whole point of Black Lightning is it's supposed to be about a superhero that wants to protect his community, right? But in the script, which you do not like, he's a principal.
Yes.
Okay. Without going to too
At
much.
a private school.
At a private. It's not really private.
It is private. It feels private. It
Is
doesn't
it private
feel
school? It's
public.
a public school, Dave. It's a public school. You see,
Why is it so nice?
Because it's TV. Right, but then of course, I'm gonna forget the I'm gonna forget the Nemesis name.
I love Nemesis. Nemesis is so dope.
What's his name again?
Tobias.
He's Whale is
dope.
gangster.
Like,
yeah,
like he's like the best part of the show.
Because
like his storyline, I like.
Okay,
I
so
like his
Thug.
storyline.
There it is. There's one character.
Okay.
And we're gonna go back to what you were talking about, the Magical Negro.
Not magical. Is he magical? He has super strength.
He has superpowers.
Yeah.
The only difference with this character, which is again why I think it's one of the better ones, is as the Magical Negro in other movies, they're always there to help white people. In this one, he's here to help his own.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's a little bit different because it's not the typical.
I hear that.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. Like, I agree with that, but at the same time, I think
you just don't like it. You
I
don't
don't
the
like
show.
it. I think it's not done properly. Like, I think I don't want to say it's all over the place, but it's all over the place. You know what I mean?
It kind of is. And honestly, like, I will say, I think the acting out of all of the ones that have come out is horrible.
Bad
It is the
acting.
worst acting. Confirmed.
Really bad acting.
And the storyline is, it could use some work. It could. But there are some things that come up in it that I think should be identified.
Okay.
As
Like,
useful. So they are the first Black superhero family.
oh, like The Incredibles. That's good.
Right? That's okay.
That's good.
There's LGBTQ representation for the
Yeah.
first time.
The
Thunder.
oldest daughter.
The oldest daughter, Thunder.
Yeah.
So she's gay, and it's talked about a lot throughout it. They bring up police brutality.
Yes.
Yes, which is a real thing. So that's something that they, again, comic book heroes have always portrayed what's happening in the real world. So I can see why they had to put that in. Gangs. So there's that thug role again.
Yeah.
The bad guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Tobias Whale with his albino self. Appreciate him. And then sisterhood, which is something that
What's the sisterhood?
two sisters, they're so protective of each other.
I haven't gone that far. Like, I literally stopped. I think after season 2.
Okay.
It stopped.
They show
like
it.
when the younger one discovers
That she has powers.
That's when
You know what? Like, I like the dynamic between. Honestly, again, one thing I will give them is the family. There she is.
Yeah.
One thing I will give them is the family. That whole family dynamic is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I like how they work together as a family, and I appreciate that. That's what they show a lot of. So, we're gonna leave the show you don't like.
I don't mind talking about it, but I don't have any. I think I'm medium lukewarm on it.
I like the show. I just don't like the acting. That's all.
So, are you supporting the show? Are you watching it still?
I do watch it. I watch because I like what they're talking about. I like what Black Lightning does for the community. He makes it about his community all the time. So I appreciate that. When people try to come into the studio and distract you, it doesn't work, but he tried. When we get back, I'm going to hand that part over to Miss Christina because she's been wanting to talk about this show for like 2 weeks.
Not really.
You
Like,
have.
you're making it seem like I'm gushing over it, but I'm
You
not. I just want
kinda
to
are.
share my thoughts about the show because it's something that it crosses over two pieces of me, like my UK part and like my Canadian part. So
That's probably why.
that's why I want to share about it.
Okay, so we'll talk Top Boy in
Yeah.
the next segment of it. See you guys soon.
World-famous spiritual astrologer and psychic Pandit Sai is born to serve people. He's an expert on palmistry and horoscope. He can handle all problems and give Vedic solutions for business, job, love, marriage, husband and wife problems, children, personal, and many others, including depression. He also performs pujas to clear all sorts of obstacles. Call Pandit Sai and see changes in your life now. 647-766-1419. Located at 2895 Derry Road, East Mississauga, Airport Road and Derry.
With so many newspapers within the community, it's sometimes hard to tell what separates us from the rest. Most of the time, they all brag about the same thing. You know, the large circulations, tons of online views, and it can go on and on. But what really separates the Toronto Caribbean newspaper apart from everybody else? Well, it's simple. Our service. No, seriously. Hi, I'm Grant Browning, founder and CEO of the Toronto Caribbean newspaper. I have over 20 years of branding and marketing experience, and I've worked with countless companies and corporations to do one thing, and that is to raise their profits with their brand. With over 40 years of combined experience in branding and marketing, our amazing staff is fully prepared to sit down and figure out exactly what you need to stand out from your competitors.
The reason why you don't see that anymore is because
The ad is too powerful, bring too much people.
So what are you waiting for? Give us a call today. We'll be happy to help.
I know London. People pay a lot of money to get high. Dark, white, weed, all of that. Do you get me?
Came from the mud and the trenches, running and hopping the fence.
Yeah. Welcome back. Look at your face. Watch your face. Face. Wow. Tell me, what's your love? Why do you love Top Boy so much?
Okay, so I discovered Top Boy like a long time ago. Like, so when it first came out, that's when I watched it.
Okay.
Like, and I was just like, it helped me open my eyes to my childhood. That's why I really liked it.
Tell me more.
So I didn't know that I also grew up on an estate. I had no idea because my parents sheltered me so much. So like, I didn't know that that's where like my childhood and like this was like kind of real. Like that's
really
what happened to me. Like I didn't know that. So like seeing like the States and like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks like Churchill Gardens, which is where I grew up.
Okay.
I was like, wow, that's amazing. And what it helped me do was like see instances that happened that I heard my parents talk about, and then actually knowing, I'm like, oh, that's what that was. As a child, I couldn't process it, but now as an adult, I'm like seeing it on screen. I'm like,
makes sense.
So there was one time when my dad's car kept on getting egged, and I had no idea what that was. I was like, why is it getting egged? Like, I heard it, and he kept on talking about it, but him and my mom would talk about it on like low tones. They'll be like, yeah, the car, something happened to the car again. And I'll be like, why would that happen? And then I came to find out that there were like crews at in my estate, like where I was living. So I was like, oh, that's what those are. Oh, that's who was doing that. Oh, that makes so much sense now.
Okay.
So that's why I have an affinity for the show, because that it kind of helped me open my eyes to what I had experienced and what was happening around me at that time.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why I like the season.
Tell me some of the roles you see out of the ones that there's some obvious ones.
Obviously the thugs.
Thugs all through this.
It's a gang show. But
it is.
This is the thing, and I said this in my article, and I'm going to say it here again. Let's not pretend that gang violence isn't something that our community is dealing with. Like, let's not pretend.
Yeah, it's reality.
It is, right? Like, everybody here can say that they know someone or somebody's friend or somebody's friend who's been affected by it. True. That is true. That's true. What I don't like, and what I do agree with when people say, is that, like, why is it that we see so much of this on TV?
That's what I was going to say.
Right?
That's the only thing is, like, I think it can be dangerous because you have to understand something. See how you and I kind of like, yeah, we love the thugs. Imagine the younger generation, they're glorifying these people. They're glorifying this lifestyle. Right. And people don't understand with that lifestyle, there's only 3 real outcomes. Maybe actually only 2. Death and jail.
Right.
Like, if you live past that and you survive, you're lucky. But during those times, you're going to experience death. It may not necessarily be your own, but of others, and probably some jail time.
Yeah.
Right? So that's my only concern with, because it's very graphic. It is. Is it? Yes, man. That's graphic. It's graphic.
Maybe.
Like in one of the...
I definitely don't like young people. Please don't watch the show.
It's not the show for everybody. Like, I think there should be definitely like a PG on it. But there are some things in it. I like the fact that they go to Jamaica with it. I like that.
Yeah, that was cool. So he had to run away.
He had to leave.
From season 2. So that's where it starts off in season 3. There are going to be spoilers, just letting y'all know.
Yeah. Oh, Drake. Let's talk about this. So he's one of the producers for this. This man, it kind of fell off. The show fell off for a little bit. They dropped it.
Off. It was done. Like the thing with England, I find, is they have a lot of mini-series, whereas in North America we have like 20, 23, 22 episodes in a season. England's not like that because there's so much content.
Okay.
So there's mini-series. So like a series would typically have like 6 episodes, and that's it. Maybe 10.
This one had a few more, and Drake decided to pick it up and continue with the third segment of Top Boy, which I've watched. We completed it. And it was a very good ending. It allowed me to it played all the characters out to the very, very end, I think.
All the characters in there?
The ones that
like the character stereotypes. Which one?
Yes, the characters in there, not the stereotypes.
I think everybody's story, I mean, I feel like obviously there's going to be a season 4.
I think so. There's still something else to happen.
There's going to be a season 4 because the way they ended it, I think was really good. But there's definitely going to be a season 4. I don't think all the stereotypes are in there.
No.
Okay.
Thug's there. Brash Woman is there.
Who's
yes.
Brash Woman? I think Jack's sister would be the Brash Woman.
Yeah. The black best friend. Interestingly enough, I think in this one it was switched. There was a white best friend, that white boy that got burned up in the fire.
Jason, R.I.P.
Spoiler alert.
R.I.P.
But yeah, he kind of took on the role of the black best friend, but not really.
So just because someone has a best friend, that's a stereotype? I don't think so.
I'm saying the role that he played. Usually that role was for, again, there'd always be the token black person in a show. There's always that token.
Okay.
Okay.
I can see how Jason could be that for Sully.
Yeah, man, he was a token. I feel like he was a token, right? Poor boy had such bad luck. But overall, I think it's a good show to watch. I think it does give you some perspective, especially what's happening over there.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff is the same that's happening over here. Like you said, we can't ignore.
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah. So, we recommend. Do we give Top Gun a thumbs up?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, man. Just not for the young ones.
No. I would not recommend young people. Like I want to say 18 or older, but I know y'all already.
Yeah, let's be real. 13, they're watching it. If they have a Netflix password, they're probably gonna watch it. So
it's not good for you. It's not good for your spirit.
It's not.
Like, taking these things in.
Says the one who watches it. Okay, so guys, we want you to do something for us. First of all, we want you to let us know in the comments of any other stereotypes that there are. What else do you guys see?
You know what I didn't see on here?
What didn't you see?
The hypersexual black woman.
Yeah, because they don't talk about that. The hoe? The hoe? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah. They didn't show that.
Well, the hoe's there. I think she comes along with the Brash Woman. I think they're kind of like...
I don't think so. Oh, you know what show we totally didn't talk about that we could have talked about today?
What could we have talked about?
Dear White People.
Ah! Another show, another day. We have more. So it's another day. It's another day. We have other shows. There's a lot more we can do with this. Because I would love to explore the stereotypes in that one.
That one has a lot of stereotypes.
That'd be interesting to see.
That one's, I like that show. I don't like what they did with season 3, but I generally do like the show.
There was some more. I don't like season 3 either. I haven't even started it because I was like, already.
But I know they're going to open it for season 4, so I want to see what they do for season 4. But
throw us out some more.
Yeah.
What do you guys see?
Give us more shows featuring us.
And let's see what we can do. What are they doing? Are they helping us or hurting us? You guys can let us know in the comments below.
Yes.
Guys, thank God it's Friday. I'm going to get this sickie
and a long weekend
away from me. Yeah, it's a long weekend for if you're watching us in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's a long weekend for us. Thanksgiving weekend, even though we don't know what we're really giving thanks for. Anyhow, I'm going to leave that alone. That's another show too, another day. Guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next week on In the Now with Chris and Simone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.